This is Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox.
Well, Jim, I was doing a little bit of summer reading. I haven't dove into the big, beautiful bill as of yet. However, I did stumble upon a pretty interesting article on Kiplinger.com, and it talked about the things you're likely to spend less on in retirement. Some of the things you'll spend less on: commuting, food, and taxes. Now, that's good news. Yeah. The bad news is, Jim, there are some things we're going to spend more on when it comes to our retirement. So, Jim, if you could enlighten our listeners on some of those things we know you'll spend less on, but then there's also some things that'll change that you'll have to spend more on when it comes to your future as well.
Yeah, you know, and I want to point out one other thing that a lot of people are really shocked on when they get to retirement, especially those, listen, most of you that are listening right now have been really good savers, right? Either your whole life or maybe later in life you save money, okay? Most people aren't flat broke listening to a retirement radio show, right? I mean, let's get real. When you have no money to invest, you really look into investing, right? There was a country song, it says, the stock market crashed, we were so broke we couldn't tell, right? One of those, I don't remember who it was, but I remember growing up as a kid listening. It makes a lot of sense. So for those of you that are listening right now who are in retirement or nearing retirement, you've been throwing a lot of money into those 401ks and those IRAs. Guess what's going to happen when you retire? There's no more earned income. You're not saving any more money. So that money has been out of sight, out of mind for potentially decades. And all of a sudden, guess what? You're like, wow, where'd all this extra money come from? Because you're no longer saving in retirement, right? So that's another big bump that a lot of people are really shocked by. Interesting little fact. I would guess 90% of the people I sit down with actually see a pay increase in retirement over the year before when they were working, if you can believe that, Kevin. Wow, it's shocking, right?
No doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. But what are the things? So I'm going to go and I'm going to read, just because I never read the outline. So let me just tell you what they've written, and then we're going to talk about it. So healthcare, okay? So healthcare is going to cost more because guess what? We're older, right? Debt. Well, you know what? Debt's not a good thing anytime, but if your debt's crazy, it's going to cost you money. Moving and relocating. So if you decide that you're going to move, you got to pay for all that kind of stuff. Here's the big one. This is the one that I see a lot of. It's travel, man. Yeah. It's travel. See, I've got this beautiful map ordered. And again, I'm just sharing with you guys the way I think about things. And it's massive, Kevin. It's massive. It's going to hang in our office, and it's going to be a pen board, right? So you can come and put your pens in. And I'm going to have my clients maybe do red for the places they've been to, and white are the places they want to go to. And it's going to almost be like this fun ceremony when, Kevin, you finally go to Vietnam. You're going to come in and you're going to pull your white pen out and you're going to put a red pen in its place, right? Yeah. Because everybody I know travels, and some people travel internationally. Some people travel domestically, but people love to travel. And it's going to be, without a doubt, one of the most expensive portions of retirement. And you've got to plan for it, right? And here's my issue, because I need you to understand the psychology of retirement, because, I always tell people, and you're going to have to visualize this with me on radio. Okay. I'm holding my fingers maybe an inch apart right now. That's about how much true financial planning I do. Very, very little bit, right? I'm opening up to about 6 inches now, right? So now that's how much tax planning I do. How are you going to reduce taxation? How are you going to, make better tax decisions? Now I'm going to hold my arms apart as far as I can get them, right? So I don't know, what's that, 5 feet, 6 feet, whatever it is. That's retirement psychology. That's how much time I spend talking about it. Because here's what happens. There are 2 very distinct types of people in this world when it comes to my industry. There are people that have no problem. They want to spend the money the moment that they retire. They're ready to go. Right. Then you have the people that I got to hit with a stick to spend $1. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, the people that are ready to spend the money typically have the least amount, right? Because they've been spending the money the longest. But with the people who have saved the most amount of money, they save that much money, they're in a habit, right? So one of the things that I love to do is I call it my punch list, okay? And this is an exercise that I do with everybody. And regardless of if you come in, regardless if you pick up the phone and call, shame on you if you do either one of those. You should pick up the phone and call us. But everybody can utilize this. Even those of you at home, just humor me through this process. I want you to sit down and I want you to think of all the things you want to do over the next 3 to 5 years. Everything. Write them down. Maybe it's go to the Grand Canyon. Maybe it's see the Great Wall of China. Maybe it's go to, someone told me the other day they want to eat cobra and drink the venom. There's like a venom sac thing, right? Weird stuff. Maybe it's redo your kitchen. I don't care what the things you want to do, but make a list of them. Okay. Then I want you to prioritize that list. Not based on how much things cost, okay, but prioritize them on health. What do I mean by that? Well, if one of my clients' goal was to run a marathon on the Great Wall of China, okay, that is something you should do at 66, not 74, okay? Just that's what I mean by prioritize it. Once you prioritize your list, now we have a workable bucket list that we can figure out how to pay for. That is what I do with each and every client in our office. Kevin, everybody I talk, does everybody do it? No, but I push them on it every time because here's what I've realized. If you don't have a list, you typically don't do all the things you want to do. But if you create a to-do list, guess what you do? You start checking those boxes. Why? Because for those of you that have spent a lifetime and saved millions of dollars, and they always say the same thing to me. Kevin, I hear it. I close my eyes and I can hear 30 different voices right now saying the same thing to me. I'm going to spend all this money before I die. And I look them dead in the eye and I go, no, you're not. Because you're not wired that way. You didn't save $5 million being a spender. You saved $5 million becoming a saver. And you're not going to wake up one day and unless you create a list and have a disciplined game plan, you are not going to spend your money. Instead, you're going to be at Lowe's and go, well, I should get the, 100-watt light bulbs, but I'm going to use so much energy. Maybe I should do the 60 instead, right? This is the mentality. So when I sit down with somebody, spending money is literally the retirement psychology is the most difficult thing that I do. Now, on the inverse of that, the other side of this coin, I got people who are struggling and they didn't save enough money and they're ready to buy RVs and boats. And my biggest fear, Kevin, of all the things I do, it is not the stock market crashing. It is not weird, rates going, crazy high or inflation, none of that stuff. You know what my biggest fear is?
What's that?
One of my clients who saved a couple $100,000 who is, really not quite ready for retirement, but they're doing it anyway. And they call me and they say, hey, can you come outside? I want to show you something. Okay. That is my worst fear. Why? Because that's the boats or the cars or the RVs, right? Guys, retirement is a math problem with a whole lot of psychology involved. That's what retirement is. My question for you is simply this. Do you have somebody on your side right now that can look at your game? How many people have even told you what I just told you? Sit down, make sense, make a workable list. Do you have somebody on your side that can tell you what's possible and what's not? Could you have somebody who can say, hey, Mary, if you do this, this, and this, unfortunately, there's a good chance you're going to run out of money at 78 years old. See, nobody does that. You know what they do? They say, hey, yeah, your investments average 18% rate of return. Well, congratulations, man. I hate those things. I tell people I don't even play in the world of how much interest rate you're going to get because I don't know. My crystal ball is broken. I don't know how much the interest rate is, but I do know one thing. I understand probability. And I want to make sure that whatever we do in a way that you can enjoy retirement the way that you deserve to, maintaining the dignity that you want to have. Nobody, Kevin, nobody wants to be a burden on their children, their church, or their community in retirement. That's why we do this detailed planning the way we do. I joke around, act like an idiot half the time on radio, and I totally get that. The reality is I'm not that guy in real life. I'm the guy that does strategic planning, who sits down and makes sense of what we need to do. If you've never had someone in your financial life sit down and say, make a list of all the things you want to do and let's prioritize it based on cost and your ability to do things, then that guy or that gal is failing you. It is that simple. If you think you have $1 million is enough to retire on, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. If you're buying $100,000 cars, you're in trouble very quickly. You're buying 40-watt light bulbs, you're probably going to be okay. My point is, if you don't know, if you don't have a good plan that's built around the probability of success, then you're already in trouble. That's what we do for each and every one of our clients. We put together a game plan that not only takes in consideration all the mathematics, all the probability, all the risk to return, all the magic, fancy finance weenie terms, but we also then apply psychology to it. So you have a better understanding of what you can and can't do in retirement. That's what we do. That's what we offer. And even if you don't become a client, you'll walk out having a better idea of what's possible for you and your family. All you have to do is pick up the phone and give us a call. That's all you have to do. Nothing else. You pick up the phone, you come into the office. We will do 90% of the work after that for you. But if you don't pick up the phone, there's nothing we can do for you. My team is standing by right now. 321-414-7526. Again, 321-414-PLAN. Give them a call.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And obviously, we know a lot of costs are going to change when it does come to retirement. If you'd like to learn more, you'd like to see, maybe have someone give you a second opinion, review what you already have in place. Remember, planning for your retirement, not a set it and forget it type situation. You'd like someone to review what you have in place, or maybe you just don't even know where to get started. Get that conversation going today by calling Jim Fox and his team at Wadadley Financial Group. Again, that number, folks, 321-414-7526. That's 321-414-PLAN, or online. It's getfst.com. Jim, I got to be honest with you. I've heard a lot of items on bucket lists. I've never heard of drinking cobra venom.
Yeah, eating cobra. It really is. I think it's Indonesia, and it is obviously. You ever notice any weird crap is considered a delicacy? Have you ever noticed that? Like, I think that's. But there is a ceremony where you eat a cobra, and then they take a venom sac and they drop it into, like, I don't know. I'm sure it's not a brandy, but a whiskey or something, and you drink it, and that was one of these wacky. I love these wacky people, by the way, because you know what? That's going to be me too. Poor Michelle's going to be like, oh my God, just put this dude in a nursing home so he'll stop doing crazy stuff. So, but yeah, very cool stuff.
Cobra venom old fashioned. See if we can find that on a menu one of these days. But again, folks, all kidding aside, you want somebody on your side when it comes to planning for your retirement. Jim Fox and the team at Wadadley Financial Group, they're right here on the Space Coast, and they're just a phone call away. 321-414-7526. That's 321-414-PLAN. All right, Jim, we got about a minute left in the show, and like we do each and every week, my friend, the floor is all yours for the final word.
Thanks so much, Kevin. Well, every week, guys, we just want to say thank you. We understand there's tons of options when it comes to getting financial information, and we're just honored to be one of those resources. So like we say, if every single week, if there's something we can do for you, pick up the phone, give us a call. We're here to answer those questions. But with all that being said, on behalf of myself and Mr. Kevin Mack, I want to thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time on the Financial Straight Talk.
Thanks for listening to Financial Straight Talk with Jim Fox. To learn more, visit getfst.com.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Wadadley Financial Group. Wadadley Financial Group is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC IPW, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Wadadley Financial Group are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims-paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This show is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual's situation. Wadadley Financial Group is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during this show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any government agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Wadadley Financial Group.